To my viewer or fan, whatever the case may be, who might even be more than one, probably is a fan. Qualifier, the caveat, whatever, the fan of the old Laura. Anyway, can't you just tell your stories? Why don't you tell your stories and show your feet? There's no couch. There is a bed. I was sleeping with my mother in my mother's bed. All the good that did in the end, right? But back in Massachusetts, you know, when I would show my feet, it was a different reality. A lot of times it was on the couch. There is no couch here. There's no bed. There's no means to, you know what I mean? There's just sad, sad, sad me. Begging and pleading and crying. Mama, please don't do that. You're going to fall, or you might fall. You're going to fall. God won't let me fall. God let you fall 3 times last week. God won't let you fall. God let you fall and break your hip in Massachusetts. God let you fall numerous times before you broke your hip. And every one of those times was you being flippant or nonchalant or blasé about your own safety. God won't let me fall. God's healed me. I can walk. I can't let you come home, Mama. And one of your people from the park, the one who you always talk to, who does love you, you know, they love you. But he was one that, you know, I talk to here and there, but if I can't text you, because I send out texts and they tell the truth, then I wasn't able to let you know the truth. But remember, all my mom will say to anybody, I fell. She's never going to say I fell, because I insist on doing things that I'm not supposed to do, and I'm supposed to ask for help from Laura. I'm not sleeping. I'm staying up all night. She's never going to say that. She's going to bitch and moan and complain about me when, like Joe says, she doesn't want your help, or she wants your help only on her terms, and her terms are delusional. Trust me, she doesn't have the thick, vibrant hair that she used to have anymore. I mean, she still has. It's not gray because that's because we don't gray, you know. She's nearly 80 and really never had gray hair. That's just how it is. But you don't want to have a curling iron on that. She should have a curling iron, but she can't have a curling iron anyway. She doesn't even lock her wheelchair, and she bends over and is unsafe, and she's not having a fucking curling iron. And she's delusional, talking about wanting a car. And then she tells them in the hospital, I want, who knows, but a hospital bed's that kind of in the hospital, really nice bed, probably costs $3, $5, who knows what it costs, thousands of dollars. And then she thinks everything's $1,000 to get the car, $1,000. And she goes, yeah, this is what she won't let me, she doesn't want to spend $1,000. She won't let me have this kind of bed. It's nothing to do with that, Mom. You should have a hospital bed and you didn't want it, okay? And I can't force you to have it, just like I can't force you to have your meds, okay? If you don't want the hospital bed, but we were nearing the thing where we were going to get it, and then tragedy strikes, and it's just, if tragedy struck and it was as the result of not my mom being defiant and belligerent and constantly, not even before tragedy struck, putting her life in danger, mocking me, it's mocking me. Mom, we learned last week when you fell even with your walker in here, even though you were approved in the last facility, nursing home you were in, remember, I'm not allowed to say home. She freaks out. Did you say I'm not going to have you be alone in the bathroom ever again. But again, I have to leave for a split second to switch out the wheelchair and the walker. The wheelchair for the walker. And I put the tape on the floor, and she was doing good walking with the tape, so it is all in her head that she was taking the baby steps after she fell last week. Regardless, I put the tape on the floor, and she does follow it. It's amazing. It proves it's in her head. She wants the tape, but she can't have the tape everywhere. She wants the tape everywhere, even out on our porch, out or whatever. You're not going to have tape out in real world if we have to use your walker to get in somewhere that doesn't have a wheelchair, it has it where you have to walk a distance to get to the wheelchair, which happens sometimes. It's not right there and everywhere you go. But in any case, I have to have horror all the time. Even before the tragedy struck 2 days ago. The horror is, depending on the situation, remember her wheelchair's in there, but we might get caught up in conversation or whatever, so then I need to switch it out. So it's either, okay, Mama, I take the wheelchair out. Mama, I'm taking the wheelchair out. Please don't stand up and wipe. I will be back in a second to help you. I'm getting the wheelchair, be seconds. And then I come in and she's standing up and doing it anyway. Exactly what nearly led to tragedy the week before. And she does it because to her, well, I've always done this before I fell, I'm going to continue doing it. To me, just let me fucking help you. I want you to not fall. That's a separate issue from the fucking bed. She can't not get up out of that bed. That bed. She can get up out of a medical bed into her wheelchair, okay? We already know that, okay? The reason I wasn't allowing that in Massachusetts, and then that landed her defiantly having a break, psychotic or whatever, and deciding she can walk across the room. God told her she's healed. That nipped that in the bud. We're always going to keep the wheelchair by her bed. Then she ended up falling anyway because she twists in the wires. Even if I get you the hospital bed, this house, you need help going over there. You need help with the bathroom. You need help, period. So even if I get you the hospital bed, you still have to not be getting up out of bed. You still have to call me. And I won't be sleeping with you anymore. I'll be in here. You see how it circles back to she just is going to do as she pleases. She's reckless, and tragedy struck as I was warning you and people in the real world was going to happen eventually. And I was warning her, of course, left and right, and it fell on deaf ears. It fell on insane ears is what it is. Sorry. That's the truth. So, remember, Joe never expected to witness this, my mom's behavior. And even he's not with her, all the time like I am. what he witnessed is repeatedly the same thing. We're going somewhere. She has to go with us. Her walker's in the trunk. She repeatedly is going to get out of the car because she's so fucking impatient. The world revolves around her. Get out of Joe's car when there's no walker there. When she can't walk and there's nowhere to go. She repeatedly opened the door. Okay? One time I had to do something, whatever it was. I had to go. She has to wait. I think I had to go open the hotel. Whatever it was I had to do, Joe had to sit there and hold his door because she was going to keep trying to get it open. So, when Joe heard what happened yesterday, he's like, because remember, he strongly, devoutly, he's not organized religion, but he strongly, devoutly believes in God. He has that faith. Okay? That enviable faith I'm not able to have. As I repeatedly told you, I can't force it. Anyway, Joe repeatedly witnessed that, and he knows how my mom is, and he was praying that strangers would get to realize it, and it didn't take long. Didn't take long. It's all the same thing. Even during the day, yes, my mom gets way worse at night, but, and over the past couple of weeks, it was awful. But even in the hotel, Joe witnessed her, and he had to be like, what are you doing? Name of my mom. Like, what are you doing? You're trying to get out of, there's no walker there yet. You have to wait till we get it out of, Joe gets it out of his trunk. She starts to open up the back door, like, where are you going to go? You can't walk. You're going to fall flat on your face. You've got to have patience. You've got to wait. I have no patience. I know. The world revolves around you. And Joe doesn't like that. And Joe is less willing than a lot of people to just attribute it all to her mental illness and just say, well, she can't help it. And then he's quick to point out, like he always did with me, well, whether or not she can help it, the effect is the same. Okay? It's the most draining thing being around my mom because she's uncooperative and repeatedly is unsafe. She puts herself in danger and you have to watch her every second so she doesn't, get seriously injured or killed while she's with you. So, it didn't take long for this. Remember, I already told you everything that happened in all the other nursing facilities. They don't come in time. They want you to pee into your briefs, into your Depends, into your whatever, and then they will change you. My mom won't tolerate that. She will risk her life and get up. She's repeatedly done it in every facility she's been in. And the first time she ever risked it could have been her last. It could have been her death, okay? But she does it anyway. She does it anyway. And then she tells him about it afterwards. And I'm like, Mom, you could have fallen, but I didn't. That's all she thinks. I didn't fall. And she thinks, because she's insane, that because she doesn't fall once, she won't ever fall again. And then even if she falls, like she did getting out of bed with it before, she remembers when she didn't fall before, and then God's healed me. It's not ever going to happen again. I wonder what you were thinking a couple days ago, Mom, when you're sitting there bleeding all over the floor. She did pseudo-apologize to me when we were talking about something else. That led into, that was really traumatic for me, Mom. I had to clean up your blood all over. And she's like, yeah, I'm sorry about that. But even her apologies are short-lived because but yes, the day before, you fucking hated me and screamed out in front of the staff there at the hospital that you hated me because I wasn't taking you home and you want nothing to do with me and you're going to live good. just as good let her go live with her sister, because we know that's not going to happen, okay? Anyhow. This shit always goes right through me and negatively affects me, but it's worth it. At least it's, semi-healthy, non-GMO at least. Compared to any kind of regular ice cream. It is good. So, this is going out to every single person that I can, whom I can send it out to. Not to the sister, but maybe the sister's still watching my videos. I was in the process, of getting our life in order. It just took longer than my mom could tolerate, because again, the world revolves around her, but get her on the senior bus, get her into this, that, or whatever, My mom, this was not the plan. My mom did this to herself. Did it to herself. And before it happened 2 days ago, that or much, much worse could have happened in any given moment over the past few weeks. That she, it could happen the very first time she tried to get into that wheelchair from the bed. You want to say, oh, well, she's spirited or whatever. Yeah, well, reckless, spirited, a lot of reckless, spirited people end up fucking dead. And, but she's also selfish and belligerent and won't let me sleep at night and sit there and talk loud and sing for hours after I have no problem taking her to pee a couple times a night or even more. But when you won't let me sleep in between, you're tormenting me. And then I have to wake up to horror. I have to wake up before the horror to near horror, where she's starting to get up, even though she fell the week before doing that, or didn't fall. She was gonna, and I had to guide her down, but whatever. Since then, she still tried. And Joe's like, it's almost, and I said, I know. She tries almost, and Joe's like, I think she's half asleep when she's doing it. She's trying in her sleep and not even, yeah, well, then she can't live at home. She can't live and she needs to be in a facility, and even then she's in danger because she doesn't keep herself safe, and they cannot be at her beck and call every split second. You have to, in a nursing facility and in a hospital, be willing to pee into your fucking things and have them change you when they're able to. You can't be getting up. Years ago, during the and when you couldn't visit her, and I found out after the fact, she was in a back and neck brace and fell years ago because they didn't come in time, and she got up in the back and neck brace and fell, and they didn't tell me the first time. But then when it happened again, they did tell me. She wasn't hurt, but they should have still told me. Same old shit. No awareness of her own safety. She broke her neck and back. She's in a back and neck brace in a facility, in a nursing home for the first time ever in her life. And they don't come in time to change her, and she has to pee. She's just going to risk walking and getting up and trying to get to the bathroom on her own. And since she's not approved to do that, there's no wheelchair or walker there to assist her. It's her walking. And when I had to go and sign paperwork or whatever, and they confessed to me, or accidentally or whatever, oh, she's done it more than once. And she managed to get there but other times not so much. But she's, the very first time she fell in the back and neck brace could have been tragic for her. She would have ended up having, she didn't have to surgery, she only had to have the back and neck brace. She would have ended up having surgery, and that's what we warned. But the whole point is that's her attitude and her behavior, and it's been, which means she's not even safe in a nursing facility. She's just a tragedy waiting to happen. But she's definitely safer in a facility, Anyhow, that's reality. And I send this out to everybody, everyone I could, everyone who knows her, because it sums it up perfectly what I just said. Staff isn't in this hospital, and I, yesterday, witnessed what I warn all caregivers. There's never been any, I warn all caregivers like in the facilities, any nursing home she goes into, I warn them all, in hospitals, nursing homes. Her medical records in the hospital in Massachusetts was the only one she ever went to that wasn't a mental hospital, just the regular hospital you're already sent to first. She's down as poor safety awareness. Okay? It's down in her medical records, poor safety awareness. It's just horror. It's horror. And it just fucking happened yesterday after we had a good day, and I even played the music for her on the MP3 player and the speaker phone thing, little baby speaker I showed you like we do out on the porch, and I played her songs or whatever. But my mother, if it's OCD, if it's insanity, if it's whatever, she will, at home, in the hospital, in any nursing home, she will risk her fucking life without even thinking. And she's fallen more than once because of it, okay? Rather than pee into her diapers. To you and I, it's just insane. Like, you'd rather die than pee into your diapers. Steph and I witnessed what I warn all caregivers of my always like this, Mom, about. My mom had to pee, okay? I was briefly talking to her nurse over here, okay? My mom had to pee, so immediately slid down and started getting up out of her hospital bed that had bars at the top, but not at the bottom, okay? Staff, there was a nurse I was talking to, and then there's another aide, witnessed the horror I deal with all the time that causes Joe to believe my mama either has a secret death wish or is so mentally far gone there's truly no hope for her. She started to get up from her bed when there was no walker or wheelchair near her bed, since, just like in nursing homes, she's supposed to use her call button to call for assistance to bathroom and then wait for help to arrive. End of story. Okay. And Joe's like, good. You got witnesses, Laura. Because anybody who thinks, oh, well, Laura can't take care. No, nobody can. Nobody could. You can only take care of someone who cooperates with their own safety, not who's blasé and just insane and just is going to think they can walk when they can't. And, she's not safe in any hospital, any nursing facility. What happened 2 days ago could have easily happened anytime over these past few weeks where she's done that or similar dangerous things, okay? Particularly the day a couple weeks ago when she decided that God has healed her, she can walk, and she's going to move her piano, which isn't it's a light piano, not a real piano, of course, across our living room. Okay? She succeeded in doing that, but that could have ended in tragedy. Easily. So easily that it's just pointless to say this, that, or whatever, She can't be in society. I tried. I was crying to Joe. Yesterday, today, whatever. I stayed over there last night. I want to come home to this house. It already has so much trauma in it. Not just trauma from what my mom either nearly did to herself or did to herself or whatever, but also she's treating me like dog shit. You know? And that doesn't change one iota me being worried sick about her and not wanting what happened 2 days ago, okay? To happen. So, nothing that can be done. Nothing. So Joe says you just have to face it. Look, she's going to die. One way or the other. She has some kind of subconscious death wish, or she's just so far gone that because who does that? You know? And I said to the nurse, I said, see, I warned you guys ahead of time how you have to be careful with her, but they can't watch her every second. It's not going to happen. Well, there's an alarm on the bed, I know. And the alarm doesn't go off until it's too late. You get it? The alarm doesn't immediately go off. My mother was already starting to get up. Alarm, you know, it's too late. I caught her. Mom, what are you doing? And I said, see, to the nurse, see, I warned you guys. And then they're just going to be like, you know, it's not their fault if she acts like that. It's not their fault if she falls in the nursing home. It's not her fault if she dies. But it's not my fault either. If it happens at home. And the nurse was just like, you know, Nema, my mom, you know, I really don't want you to fall. That'll be a lot of paperwork for me, you know. It's like, but I'm sure she was just like, oh my God. I guess the daughter was telling the truth. And the other nursing facility she was in before we moved here, right, that one, I came to visit one day and my mom she's like, we have your mom out here in a wheelchair because she keeps trying to get up out of the bed. I want to keep an eye on her. She was put near their front desk because the hospital said how she tries to get up. She did it in front of me in the hospital. She tries to get up, but the alarm goes off. This was back in Massachusetts. She did it in that nursing facility, and I point blank, I'm sitting right with her. Mom, where are you going to go? You're standing up. There's nowhere to go. You're just going to fall flat on your face. And then her roommate, who was only there a couple of weeks out of the 5, my mom was there. I'm a nervous wreck. Your mom keeps trying to get up. And I said, it's not your responsibility if she falls. It's not your fault. If it's not, I know, but what am I supposed to do? I have to try to protect her, Laura. I don't want her to fall. I know. And none of the people she talks to on the phone, including the sister she talked to recently, I wasn't eavesdropping, but I heard a bits and pieces of, I realized that's who she was talking to. I was watching TV in the living room. I had, you know, but she can sound so sane, and none of those people, none of them unless the ones who can get the truth from me versus my mom's lies and half-truths and not telling, you know, I fell is not the same as I fell and it's my own fault because I do unsafe things and I'm crazy, okay? She sounds sane talking to them and they don't have a clue. They don't have a clue in the universe what's really going on